Imagine a world where your words don't define your journey, where the noise around you fades, and your actions speak louder than any explanation ever could. What if I told you that the most powerful secret to success is not telling people what you do? That's right, there's a silent strength in keeping your ambitions close to your chest. You see, when you tell everyone about your plans, you give them power over your story. Expectations rise, doubts creep in, and suddenly, the weight of judgment can suffocate the very fire you've worked so hard to ignite. But when you choose silence, your energy is reserved, your focus sharpens. The distractions that pull others off course simply bounce off you because you're not chasing validation. You're chasing results. Think about the greatest achievers in history. How many of them loudly announced every step they'd take? No, they worked quietly, letting their success shout for them. Silence became their weapon, their shield, their strategy. Because when people don't know your moves, they can't discourage you. When you don't explain your grind, you protect your passion from the venom of doubt and envy. The truth is, the moment you tell someone your dream, you invite their fear into your world. They might not see your vision, they only see the risk, the possibility of failure. But failure is part of the journey. It's the secret ingredient no one talks about. And keeping your journey to yourself allows you to stumble, learn, and grow in private, away from the eyes that judge prematurely. So keep your dreams under wraps. Let your work be your voice. When you finally rise, when your efforts bear fruit, your silence will have been the loudest statement of all. And that moment, when your success speaks without a word, is when the world truly listens. Remember this: the greatest power lies not in explaining yourself, but in showing up every day and doing the work, quietly, relentlessly, unshakably. Because some stories don't need to be told, they need to be lived. Imagine the power hidden in silence, the kind of silence that doesn't come from fear but from wisdom. When you keep your plans to yourself, you build a protective shield around your journey. It's like planting a seed in the dark earth. No need to announce it to the world. No need for applause before it's ready to bloom. Because the moment you tell others what you're doing, you invite opinions, doubts, and distractions that can cloud your vision and drain your energy. This silence isn't about hiding. It's about guarding your focus. It's about understanding that your dreams don't need a crowd to validate them. In fact, the crowd often becomes a weight, a burden of expectations and unsolicited advice that pulls you off your path. But when you keep your goals close, you protect the delicate flame of your ambition from the gusts of criticism and negativity. By embracing silence, you create a space where your efforts can grow uninterrupted. You conserve your energy, channel your strength inward, and work with fierce dedication, undisturbed by the noise of outside voices. And when the time comes for your success to emerge, it will be so undeniable, so profound, that it silences every doubt and proves the power of quiet determination. There's a deep truth that many overlook in the rush to explain themselves, the fact that actions speak louder than words. It's easy to get caught up in telling the world what you're about to do, what you plan to achieve, how hard you're working. But words, no matter how passionate or convincing, remain just words until backed by action. The real power, the undeniable force of success, comes not from telling people your story, but from living it and letting your actions be the voice that commands attention. Think about it for a moment. Words are fleeting. They can be forgotten, misunderstood, or dismissed. Anyone can say they're going to do something grand, but only those who do it have the power to transform their words into reality. When you focus too much on explaining what you intend to do, you risk diluting your energy. You scatter your focus and spend time convincing others instead of investing in yourself. Meanwhile, those who quietly move forward, who dedicate their days to consistent effort, are the ones who eventually stand tall, their success speaking volumes without uttering a single boast. Actions carry weight because they are proof. They show commitment, resilience, and progress. They embody the grind, the setbacks, the relentless push forward that no amount of talking can replicate. When you act, you demonstrate strength of character. You reveal your true intentions not through promises but through results. People will notice your achievements, your growth, your transformation far more than they ever will your explanations or declarations. There's also a subtle power in letting your success speak for itself. When others see your work, your accomplishments, they don't need you to tell them what you do. Your impact becomes undeniable. It commands respect. It inspires belief. And this is where silence becomes a strategy, not just a choice. By keeping your plans private and letting your actions lead, you create an aura of mystery, a quiet confidence that draws others in. They watch, curious and amazed, because you're not caught up in the noise of self-promotion. You're busy building something real. Moreover, actions build momentum in a way words never can. Each step forward, no matter how small, compounds. It builds confidence within you and creates a cycle of progress. When you're focused on doing, you're learning, adapting, and growing. This momentum carries you through the inevitable challenges, pushing you past doubt and fear. On the other hand, spending time just talking about your plans can breed complacency. Sometimes, simply saying it out loud tricks the mind into feeling a premature sense of accomplishment, reducing the urgency to act. And here's something powerful to remember. Action cultivates respect, not just from others, but from yourself. When you look back and see the miles you've traveled, the obstacles you've overcome, the sweat and persistence poured into your dreams, your belief in yourself deepens. That inner confidence, built from doing rather than talking, is unshakable. It's a quiet force that fuels you when motivation wanes and the path seems steep. So, as you move forward, remember that your words are just the beginning. A starting point, a spark. The real story unfolds in the actions you take, the discipline you show, the relentless pursuit of your goals. Let your work be the proof, let your results be the message, because when you stop telling and start doing, you step into a realm of power and respect that no words alone can ever reach. There's something quietly dangerous about handing over the narrative of your life to others. The moment you tell people what you're doing, you give them power over your story. It sounds almost unbelievable, right? How could sharing your dreams or plans give anyone else control? But when you speak your goals aloud, you open the door for others to weigh in with their doubts, opinions, and expectations. Suddenly, your journey is no longer yours alone. It becomes a shared story, vulnerable to the interpretations and judgments of those around you. Imagine, for a second, the freedom that comes with owning your story completely. When you keep your goals private, you maintain full control over how your journey unfolds. No one can impose their fears on you. No one can plant seeds of doubt that slow you down. This autonomy is priceless. Because once you allow others to insert their beliefs into your narrative, you might start to feel the pressure of their expectations. What if they expect you to succeed quickly? What if they fear failure on your behalf? These well-meaning worries can turn into chains that limit your progress. When you give people the script to your life before the show even begins, they watch with eyes full of anticipation and judgment. They measure your every move, waiting for you to slip or stumble, and the harshest judge of all, sometimes it's yourself. Their skepticism can become your own internal critic, whispering doubts when you least expect them. It's like handing a stranger the remote control to your motivation, letting their voices drown out your own. On the other hand, keeping your story to yourself creates an unbreakable inner sanctuary. It's a space where your dreams can breathe, grow, and evolve without interruption. This isn't about secrecy or mistrust. It's about protecting your passion from being diluted by external noise. Because the truth is, not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will believe in your potential. And that's okay. Your belief in yourself is what truly matters. There's a quiet strength in knowing you don't owe anyone an explanation or a progress report. Your journey is your responsibility and your privilege. When you carry that weight alone, it sharpens your resilience and deepens your commitment. You're free to move at your own pace, to make mistakes in private, to rise again without the burden of public scrutiny. And when your time comes to share your success, the impact will be far greater precisely because it was forged in silence and determination. Think about this. Every time you tell someone your plans, you're inviting their energy into your space. Their doubts might seep in, their negativity might try to pull you back. But when you choose silence, you hold the power to decide what influences you let inside. You become the gatekeeper of your own story, and that power is transformative. It's a power that builds confidence, protects your dreams, and fuels your relentless drive forward. So, if you want to truly own your life and your success, learn to protect your narrative. Keep your goals close, your plans guarded. Let the world watch in awe when you achieve what once was just your secret. Because the moment you stop giving others control over your story, you start writing the kind of legacy only you can create. Look closely at the lives of the most successful people throughout history, the visionaries, the pioneers, the legends, and you'll notice a pattern. They rarely broadcast every step of their journey to the world. Instead, they move quietly, deliberately, with a focus so intense that the noise of the outside world barely touches them. Their greatest achievements aren't preceded by loud announcements or promises. They're revealed through results, through breakthroughs, through undeniable impact. These people understand a truth that most overlook. Success is often born in silence. Why do they choose to keep their plans private? Because they know that words are easy, but actions take courage, discipline, and resilience. When you tell everyone about your plans, you're inviting pressure and expectation. You create a crowd waiting for you to stumble, waiting for proof that you can back up your talk. This kind of attention can be distracting, even debilitating. The fear of failure grows louder, and the weight of judgment can become a barrier rather than a motivator. Successful individuals recognize this and instead focus on building their vision in the shadows. They work tirelessly without the need for external validation. Their energy is reserved for the grind, the late nights, the sacrifices that no one sees. This reserved energy becomes a secret weapon because when people don't know your next move, they can't undermine your confidence or derail your progress. You remain free to experiment, to fail, to learn, and to rise again without the pressure of public scrutiny. By not announcing every step, they protect the purity of their ambition. They shield their goals from premature criticism and from the fatigue that comes with constantly defending or explaining their journey. This freedom allows them to evolve naturally, to pivot when necessary, and to grow in ways that words alone cannot capture. Their success isn't a story told in advance. It's a story lived, crafted with patience and unwavering dedication. And when the moment comes to reveal what they've built, it is often a moment of awe and inspiration. Because the world wasn't prepared for such quiet, consistent effort, the results are so undeniable that they speak louder than any promise could. It's not about bragging or showing off. It's about letting achievements stand as a testament to the power of focus and persistence. There's also a lesson here about humility. The greatest achievers don't feel the need to announce their path because they're not chasing approval. They're chasing mastery. Their work is an expression of their character, their values, and their relentless pursuit of excellence. They understand that true success doesn't need to be shouted. It demands respect through its very presence. So, if you want to follow in their footsteps, take a page from this quiet playbook. Protect your plans, hold your progress close, and work with fierce dedication out of the spotlight. Know that your success will make the noise for you when the time is right. In the meantime, embrace the power of silence, because it's often in the quiet moments that the most extraordinary victories are born. There's a hidden danger in telling others about your dreams too soon. The danger of raising unrealistic expectations that weigh heavily on your shoulders. When you announce your goals, you're not just sharing a vision, you're creating a framework of pressure around yourself. Suddenly, there's an invisible crowd watching, waiting, judging. They expect progress, results, and success, and they expect it on a timeline that might not match your reality. These expectations can become a heavy burden. They push you to perform not because you're ready, but because you feel like you owe it to those who know your plans. The fear of disappointing others creeps in, and that fear can paralyze even the most determined among us. Instead of focusing on the work itself, the process, the learning, the growth, you become caught in the trap of trying to meet someone else's timeline, someone else's standards. And in that space, doubt grows louder, self-confidence wavers, and the purity of your passion begins to fade. Think about how many times you've heard someone say, "I'm going to do this big thing," only to never see it come to life. Not because they lacked talent or drive, but because the weight of expectation crushed their momentum. They felt like failures before they even started, because the world was waiting for them to succeed quickly, perfectly, and visibly. Unrealistic expectations create a pressure cooker environment where mistakes feel catastrophic instead of natural. They steal the joy of the journey and replace it with anxiety. When you keep your goals to yourself, you remove that external clock ticking down on your progress. You allow yourself the freedom to move at your own pace, to stumble, to adjust, to take detours without the spotlight glaring on every misstep. This freedom is a gift. It lets you focus on what truly matters, the process of becoming, not just the outcome. You get to celebrate small wins in private, build confidence step by step, and learn resilience away from the eyes of skeptics. It's also important to realize that expectations are often unrealistic, because people outside your journey don't see the full picture. They don't witness your late nights, your struggles, or your setbacks. They see only the promise of the destination, and that promise can feel daunting and immediate. But success is rarely a straight line. It's messy, slow, and full of invisible effort. The expectations others place on you rarely take this reality into account. By not sharing your plans prematurely, you protect yourself from that pressure. You safeguard your mental space to grow organically. You remind yourself that your worth isn't measured by how quickly you achieve your goals or how loudly you announce them, but by the integrity and persistence with which you pursue them. And when you finally reach milestones, when your success does become visible, It shines brighter precisely because it wasn't rushed or pressured. It was earned with patience and quiet determination. So, keep your dreams guarded until they're ready to be seen. Don't let unrealistic expectations rob you of your peace and focus. Move forward on your own terms, trusting the process, because true success isn't about meeting everyone's expectations. It's about fulfilling your own potential in your own time. There's an incredible clarity that comes from silence, a sharpening of focus and energy that many people never experience because they're too busy seeking validation from others. When you don't feel the need to tell everyone what you're doing, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of approval, seeking, and distraction. Instead, you can channel every ounce of your strength into the work itself, the real, gritty, demanding work that transforms dreams into reality. Imagine your energy as a precious resource, something finite and easily drained. Every time you explain yourself, defend your choices, or respond to opinions, you're spending that energy. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a leak in the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it escapes before it can do its job. But when you choose silence, when you decide not to share every detail of your journey, you seal that leak. You conserve your energy, focusing it inward where it's most effective. This isn't about shutting people out or hiding your progress. It's about protecting your creative and mental space so that your efforts can be pure and undiluted. When you're not distracted by others' doubts, questions, or judgments, your mind is free to dive deep into problem solving, innovation, and growth. You develop a laser-like focus that pushes you past obstacles, silences self-doubt, and fuels persistence. Seeking validation from others is a trap because it makes your progress dependent on external approval. It shifts your motivation from internal drive to external praise, which is unpredictable and often fleeting. When your focus is on convincing others, you lose sight of the deeper reasons behind your goals. But when your energy is concentrated solely on your own purpose, your motivation becomes unshakable. It becomes rooted in your own belief, your own commitment, your own vision. Silence also helps build resilience. When you're not constantly explaining or justifying your efforts, you develop a quiet confidence. You learn to trust yourself and your process, even when the road gets tough or the results are slow. This inner trust is powerful. It sustains you through setbacks, keeps you grounded amid chaos, and drives you forward when others might give up. There's a beautiful simplicity in this. By not telling everyone what you do, you protect your mental and emotional bandwidth. You keep your mind clear and your heart focused. This clarity is what allows you to see opportunities others miss, to work through challenges with calm determination, and to maintain the discipline necessary for long-term success. And here's the secret people will notice. Even if you don't shout your plans from the rooftops, your dedication, your results, your growth will speak volumes. That quiet, concentrated energy you build through focused effort is magnetic. It draws attention because it's real. It's authentic, it's powerful, so protect your energy like the rare and valuable asset it is. Choose silence not as a retreat, but as a strategy. Focus your efforts where they belong, on the work, on the process, on becoming the person who doesn't need to explain but simply does. Because when your energy is focused and your purpose clear, nothing can stand in your way. Failure. It's a word that sends shivers down many spines, a concept so feared that we often hide our struggles, bury our mistakes, and pretend that the path to success is smooth and flawless. But failure is not the enemy, it's an essential part of growth. a hidden teacher that no one can bypass if they want to reach true greatness. And here's where keeping your journey private becomes a powerful advantage. When you experience failure in silence, you give yourself the space to learn and evolve without the crushing weight of public judgment. Think about how harsh the world can be when you stumble openly. Every mistake is magnified, every setback scrutinized. When your journey is exposed before its time, failure doesn't feel like a step on the path. It feels like a final verdict. The fear of this verdict can stop you in your tracks, causing hesitation, doubt, and even paralysis. You start to worry not just about your own progress, but about what others will think, what they will say. That fear is toxic. It's a poison that kills potential before it can bloom. But when you keep your failures private, you reclaim your power. You turn those moments of struggle into private lessons, not public spectacles. You learn to embrace failure as a natural part of the process, an essential ingredient in the recipe of success. This quiet acceptance frees you from the need to prove yourself constantly. It allows you to experiment, to take risks, to push boundaries without fearing exposure or ridicule. Failure in silence also fosters resilience. It teaches you to rise again without needing an audience to applaud your comeback. You develop grit, the kind of grit that doesn't depend on praise or sympathy, but comes from a deep inner conviction. This resilience is forged in the shadows, away from the eyes of doubters and naysayers, and it becomes unshakable. There's a profound freedom in this privacy. It lets you recover, adjust, and grow at your own pace. It removes the pressure to be perfect or to have everything figured out immediately. Instead, you allow yourself the grace to be human, to make mistakes, to stumble, and to keep moving forward. And that grace is a gift that accelerates progress more than any public approval ever could. Remember, the most successful people you admire didn't get there by avoiding failure or broadcasting their every fall. They got there by falling quietly, learning quickly, and rising stronger each time. Their failures were stepping stones, not stumbling blocks, because they treated them as private lessons rather than public defeats. So embrace failure in silence. Let it be your secret strength. Don't rush to explain your setbacks or seek validation for your struggles. Instead, focus on the work, on the growth, and on the relentless pursuit of your vision, because when failure is kept private, it loses its power to discourage and gains power to transform. And that transformation is where true success begins. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will see the path you're walking or believe in the risks you're taking. And that's a hard truth to accept, but it's also a powerful one. When you share your dreams too openly, you invite not only encouragement but also doubt, skepticism, and sometimes even outright negativity. This is because people tend to view things through the lens of their own experiences and fears. They see risk and uncertainty and often respond with caution or disbelief, even when your vision holds incredible potential. Imagine carrying a fragile flame in a storm. Every word you speak about your dream is like exposing that flame to harsh winds, winds of doubt and fear that can easily snuff it out. When others don't share your vision, their reactions can drain your energy and cloud your focus. They might offer warnings disguised as advice, question your choices, or highlight obstacles that haven't even appeared on your radar. While some of this comes from concern or love, much of it stems from their own limitations, not yours. That's why keeping your dreams to yourself, especially in the early stages, is not about mistrust, but about protecting your momentum. It's about surrounding yourself with the right kind of energy energy that fuels your progress rather than hinders it. Because when you expose your vision to those who don't see it clearly, you risk absorbing their fear instead of your own courage. There's also the danger of losing your conviction when you constantly seek approval. If you rely on others to validate your dreams, your motivation becomes fragile, easily shaken by doubt or criticism. But true belief comes from within, from a place deep inside that knows your purpose, your potential, and your capacity to overcome challenges. When you keep your vision guarded, you nurture that inner belief without interference. You build a strong foundation that no external opinion can easily topple. And here's something else. Not everyone needs to understand your vision for it to succeed. History is filled with examples of innovators, artists, and leaders who faced disbelief and resistance early on. Their ideas were dismissed, their goals questioned, but they pressed on anyway, quietly, relentlessly, with unwavering faith in their own path. They knew that the world's understanding would come later, after the work was done, after the results spoke for themselves. By keeping your dreams private, you give yourself the freedom to take risks without fear of judgment. You can experiment, fail, learn, and adjust without the pressure of convincing others. This freedom breeds creativity and resilience, two essential ingredients for turning vision into reality. So, when you feel the urge to share your plans with those who might not understand, pause and ask yourself, does this help me move forward, or does it slow me down? Protect your dreams from those who see risk instead of possibility. Cultivate your belief quietly, and let your actions do the talking. Because true vision doesn't need constant explanation. It needs courage, patience, and the strength to keep going when no one else is watching. There's a remarkable power that comes when you let your success speak for itself, when you move quietly, work hard, and only reveal the fruits of your labor at the right moment. Your silence before success is not emptiness. It's a build-up, a gathering of strength, skill, and determination that becomes unstoppable. And when your achievements finally emerge, they make a statement so loud and clear that it silences every doubt, every skeptic, every whisper of disbelief. Think about the anticipation created by silence. When people don't know what you're doing, when you don't broadcast your intentions, your success becomes a mystery. This mystery draws attention because it's unexpected. It's the difference between someone who talks about what they will do and someone who simply shows what they've done. The latter commands respect because their results are undeniable. They don't need to explain, convince, or defend. Their work speaks volumes, cutting through noise and distraction. This is why quiet perseverance is so powerful. It's not about hiding out of fear or uncertainty. It's about strategic patience. It's about understanding that the right moment to reveal your success will have the greatest impact. When your achievements come suddenly, fully formed, they create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond the initial audience. People are inspired not just by what you've done, but by the mystery of how you got there. Your silence becomes a symbol of discipline and relentless focus. Let your success be the answer to every question you didn't voice, every doubt you didn't address. It's a way of showing the world that you were not idle, that every day of quiet work mattered. This kind of impact leaves a lasting impression. It commands attention and respect because it's real. It's tangible proof that you don't need to shout to be heard. There's also a deep satisfaction in knowing that you didn't have to explain your journey every step of the way. You didn't let external noise dictate your confidence or slow your pace. You held your vision close, worked diligently, and allowed your results to make the noise instead. This approach cultivates humility and strength. It means you're focused on progress, not praise, on substance, not showmanship. And here's something profound. When your success arrives quietly, it inspires others in a different way. It shows that consistent effort, perseverance, and silence can lead to breakthroughs. It teaches that the loudest voices don't always produce the greatest outcomes. Your success becomes a beacon for those who value hard work over hype, patience over impatience. So, embrace the power of quiet perseverance. Let your actions, your results, your success be the loudest statement you ever make. Because when you stop telling and start showing, you step into a realm of influence and respect that words alone can never achieve. Your silence, your dedication, your eventual triumph, they all combine to create a legacy far stronger than any announcement ever could. There's a unique strength in being the gatekeeper of your own story. When you choose not to reveal everything, when you guard your journey closely, you hold the power to shape your narrative on your own terms. This control is more than just about privacy, it's about mastery over your identity, your motivation, and ultimately your destiny. Imagine your story as a precious book, one that only you have the full right to write, edit, and publish. Every chapter, every twist, every triumph is yours to reveal when you decide the time is right. When you share too much too soon, you risk letting others rewrite parts of your story, whether intentionally or not, with their opinions, doubts, and expectations. But when you keep your plans and progress to yourself, you hold the pen firmly in your hand. You decide what goes in and what stays out. This is power. Being the gatekeeper of your own story means you protect your motivation from being hijacked by external voices. When your journey is public, every setback can feel like a public failure. Every delay can spark criticism. This external pressure can shake your confidence and make you question your path. But when you control the narrative, you create a safe space to grow and evolve at your own pace. You remind yourself daily why you started and what you're working toward, without the noise of outside judgment clouding your focus. There's also freedom in this control. You don't owe anyone explanations or updates. Your progress isn't tied to other people's timelines or expectations. You can take detours, pivot, or pause without feeling accountable to a crowd waiting for results. This freedom allows you to experiment, to take risks, and to make mistakes because your story is still being written, and you're the only one with the final say. This control extends beyond motivation and progress. It shapes how others perceive you as well. When you reveal your story on your own terms, you command respect. People see that you're deliberate, thoughtful, and in control. You're not reacting to outside pressures. You're moving with purpose and intention. This quiet confidence is magnetic. It draws people in and builds trust because it's rooted in authenticity, not in the need for approval or validation. Think of this control as a form of self-respect and self-care. You're protecting your energy and your dreams by choosing when, how, and with whom you share your story. This intentionality creates a stronger foundation for success because it's built on your own terms, not on the shifting opinions of others. Ultimately, being the gatekeeper of your own story means embracing responsibility for your life and your legacy. It's about owning every part of your journey, the struggles, the successes, the quiet moments of determination. When you hold this power, you become unstoppable because you're no longer at the mercy of external forces. You are the author, the creator, the one who decides what your story will be. So guard your narrative wisely. Keep your plans close and your vision clear. Control what you reveal and when. In doing so, you don't just protect your dreams, you empower them. And that empowerment will carry you further than any shared words ever could.